All right, y'all, let's get in here. We have got to talk about something. I am going to tell you right now the reason that the Democrats are behaving the way that they are. I've been telling you for a while now, if you've been for a subscriber, there's a civil war that's happening inside the Democratic Party, and the assassination of Charlie Kirk by a leftist, by a left-oriented group, by the very deal with the devil that the Democrats have made has exposed something that I need to walk you through right now. It explains everything, and it'll all be linked in the description box below. So as you guys get in here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. If you want to save the country from the very people that we are talking about, that Charlie and Turning Point USA consistently engage, guys, buckle up, because we're going full throttle. Now, of course, let me hear your audio, video over here in the live. This is something that I think we all need to see. Excellent. Here we go. All right. I'm going to jump right over here, and this is my X profile at Braden LOA. All of this stuff is linked if you want to see it, but I want to show you something really important that's happening in this nation. Because candidly, we are not only going to win, we are on the cusp of a 20, 30, 40-year long winning streak. And the reason why is simple, and it's not because we're magic, and it's not because conservatives are magic, it's not because you watching this made some sort of fairy dust deal with a unicorn you found in the forest. It has nothing to do with that. The reason why is the Democrats, in their desperation for power and their lust for power, they made a devil bargain with the devil himself in the far left. I'm going to show you all of this in 1 second, but as you guys are getting in here, make sure you're sending this out, you're sharing this, you're subscribing, you're hitting the like button, do all those things, because this is the fight, all right? Now, you guys know that the far left has been involved with the Democrats for at least 15 years. I mean, like the far left, extreme left, right? Now, the problem that they run into is they can't separate themselves. And this is a very key point. I've got a few clips I'm going to show you in a second. They cannot divorce themselves from the rhetoric, from the far left. It's impossible. And before I show you this clip of what's changing, let's go big screen, and I'm going to walk you through this in a way that is unique to me. I'm going to show you something and tell you something that I can honestly say very few people have the perspective on. I'm a YouTube creator. Call me an influencer. Call me a political analyst. Call me a talking head. You can call me all sorts of things. But one thing that I know very, very well is algorithms. I know customer interactions on algorithms. I know viewer interactions on algorithms. And I know how algorithms work. And when you partner the algorithms, of which the Democrats have been weaponizing for the past 10, 15 years in their quest for basically consolidation, they have put themselves in a bubble that they will not be able to get out of. And let me explain this, because this is very important as we go forward. If you are a creator, or you are a politician, you cannot deviate from what you have trained your audience to expect. It's impossible. It's a whole big thing. But in the short term, you cannot do it. It's too jarring. Your audience will find what they want and what they're desiring from somebody else, which is why the Democrats have a huge, massive problem. It would make total sense that in the light of a political assassination, you would want to soften your rhetoric a little bit. You may want to kind of back off the insanity, but they're not doing it. They're not softening. They're not doing anything. They're just trying to be quiet and say, oh, we've all made mistakes. The reason why is if they do that thing, if they start to soften and they start to lessen the intensity, they're going to lose the very audience that they are craving. That's the important part. And when you look at this from a creator, from an algorithm perspective, if you lose that audience, you lose everything. You lose momentum, you lose impressions, you lose influence, you lose everything. And now you're in a worse place than where you are. So what that puts you in a position of is you have to double, triple, quadruple down. That's why you see it all the time. The Democrats have made that exact bargain, but with far left rhetoric. That's where we're at, and I'm going to show you right now. They cannot divorce themselves from the far left rhetoric, or they will have a punishment on the algorithm and they will lose their power. That's the point. Now, let me get into this, and I hope I landed that plane. Let me know over here in the comments, because this is a really important piece. I'm going to show you what's happening on the actual ground here, because we are going to win. I'm telling you, this is important. And I just did the point for whoever just said they're going to fast forward. That was the main point. But I'm going to show you points to supplement it now. Listen to this kid. This is a kid in college.
Let me just remind you that the same exact people in this country who bitch and moan every single day of their lives about accepting people for who they are the same exact ones celebrating the death of somebody who they disagreed with. Make sense? No. You fucking idiots do realize that this wasn't like a person in power, right? This was a person who set up a tent and had civil debate with people that disagreed with him, and he never instilled or incited violence or anything like that. He just had debates with people who disagreed with him. That's it. Do you realize what this has done, not only in the country, but as I said, in the world? This has woken up so many people, and not even just woken up, but like verbalized so many people. I've never posted anything like this. Everybody who has been hiding down below because they're afraid to share their opinion has now risen up. Because when you take somebody out who is spreading a message that powerful, you really think that it's just going to stop? No, it is going to become more and more and more powerful, because you're going to have everybody who agreed with him making shit like this. It's been what, like 4 days since this happened? I haven't been able to work or focus on shit because this has been consuming me. And not just the fact that of the act itself is fucking sickening, but what's more so concerning is the fucking reaction from half of this country. All you fucking mentally ill people, bro. Mentally fucking ill. We live in a time where you can lose your fucking life over an opinion, and Charlie Kirk woke up so many goddamn people, and his message is only going to be amplified by 100 times because of this fucking shit. All
right. He's dead on. Now, he's on the perspective of that college-age student. He is the Turning Point USA key demographic. You guys are going to win this. We're going to win this collectively. We're going to take our country and put it in the right direction. This is why. I'm explaining to you all these pieces because you have to understand why they've made a deal with the devil. Look at the Democrats right here in this compilation. I'm going to play this clip and we're just going to keep on going. We got time. The internet is free. Let's freaking go.
That man cannot see public office again. He is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated. And I hope these far-right podcasters come to their senses and recognize that this is not war. We do not divide this entire country based on political ideology.
We are on the eve of an authoritarian administration. This is what 21st century fascism is starting to look like. I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm not with the Nazis. People can finger point all they want. Look at the record. Look at the actions of what we are doing. I don't think a single person who has dedicated their entire career to preventing gun safety legislation from getting passed in this House has any right to blame anybody else but themselves for what is happening.
All right, come here. Now we're going to talk about this real quick because this is really important. Sorry, my audio is doing something weird, but we're going to get through this. You're watching them before and after the assassination. That's why this is important. It's all about fascism and Nazism and fight them, and then all of a sudden something pops off because of their rhetoric, and all of a sudden magically we can't point fingers and point blame. They've made a deal with the devil of which they cannot go through with fixing, or they will cut off their arm, making them completely out of power for decades. They are pot committed to the far left extremist. They're going to lose the middle or they're going to lose the left. It is like the worst bargain you could possibly ever be in. That's why this is so important. I'm going to keep on going. Let's keep on trucking. You know what? Let's hear Chris Murphy. Who doesn't love Chris Murphy?
We're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
Whatever is necessary.
We look today at the left or the right as the enemy. And it's worth us stepping back and understanding how we reclaim a sense of ourself that maybe is not so rooted in politics, which is inherently oppositional.
All right, I can only stand so much of that guy. If you've been with me for a while, you know he's Mr. Gun Control in the Senate, and I just can't. And Jasmine Crockett, nah, I like you guys too much for that. But you guys get the idea, right? The whole point is, do whatever it takes. We're in a war, fascism, Nazis, but then something pops off and it's, oh my God, how could you point fingers? How can we need child, please. All right, let's keep on going. Again, I am trying to weave this through. Let me hear you in the comments if I'm making sense with the planes. I see some planes. Amazing. I'll jump in the chats here as soon as I can. I am producing, chatting, and starring in this production. So let's get into it. Make sure, of course, you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Let's hear Nancy Pelosi, again, reinforcing my point. Take it away, Nancy.
People don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something dangerous.
Oh, yeah?
But we cannot take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it.
Other Democrats are quickly calling for gun.
Yeah, of course they are. That's more my, whatever. All right. We can't be held responsible for our rhetoric. I just showed you some more rhetoric. But again, this is the point. This is a clip right here. I'm going to zoom in because if you guys watch my earlier video, like 5 o'clock, this is actually a clip of the same thing where the guy was saying that we need to make Republicans afraid for their lives to go out in public. That's the same guy. That's the streamer. His name's Destiny. He's a real special piece of human. But here it is. This is the quartering that says this. I am not outraged. I am not surprised. I am genuinely scared for both men. There is no off-ramp. Now he's talking about Hassan Piker and Destiny, the two guys that I featured in my video earlier today. This is the whole point. There is no off-ramp. And when you hear people saying there's no off-ramp, what they're referencing is exactly what I opened this video with. They cannot get off of the far left rhetoric, or the snake that they have by the tail is going to turn around and bite them right in the face. Because if they go against the far left, the trans, the Antifa, if they dare say anything other than it's an idea, like Biden said, they're going to turn around and use their terroristic activity on them. They don't want the tiger they have by the tail facing them, so they're kind of screwed. You can either have the Democrats in the middle party and the donkeys, or you can have the tiger by the tail. The tiger by the tail is a lot more fun when it's going against your opponents, but when it turns against you, it's not as much fun anymore. That's where we're at right now. That's why he says there's no off-ramp. That's why Tim Pool also said something about off-ramp. And just in case you are not familiar with this guy's work, and again, I'm loving the emojis in the chats. That's really helpful. Thank you, guys. This guy's named Destiny. And if you wanted to hear a terroristic statement from Piers Morgan, and I will do more on this tomorrow because we are going full throttle. We are not stopping ever again. Here's what he said. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. He actually said that. And if you don't believe me, allow me to play the clip where he says it. 24 seconds, send this out, piece of human excrement. Let's get it.
I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so...
And you know what? I don't even need to listen to the rest of that guy's stupid face. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, you shouldn't have had President Trump for the second term. That sounds like a direct threat from the exact same guy who said we need to make Republicans afraid to show up in public because we're going to kill them. Why is this guy on the internet still? Just asking for a friend. But anyway, let's keep on trucking. Again, guys, the more you share this, the more you reinforce, the more you support TP, the more you support fighting these idiots right here. And I'm going to be a little bit more amped right now because this is true idiocy, all right? And I got a couple things I want to show you here. But this is a vigil for Charlie Kirk tonight. They decided to do a Palestinian Free Palestine rally at the Charlie Kirk Memorial and Vigil in Arizona. Sign Antonio. I apologize. San Antonio. You know, there's only one little problem. Yeah, the virtue signaling, uber loving right or lefties, they don't know how to spell Palestine when they're protesting at a vigil and a memorial. Look at, see that right there? Let me see if I can get a freeze frame for you. Oh, come on, where is it? You know what? Let's just do a freeze frame with no audio. There it is. Palestine. Palistine. Yeah, you're doing great work. Ugh, fucking morons. All right, well, let's keep on going. We got even more stuff to discuss. We have lots of things that we have to go through. This is just Tim Pool. I'm not going to play this clip, just saying that it's Democrats through and through. It's kind of a contagion. And here, this one is an older gentleman, and this is kind of reinforcing my point. The Democrats are either going to play with the tiger by the tail, which is the Antifa left, far left, trans agenda, or they're going to play with moderate Democrats. That's one or the other. This guy represents the moderate Democrat. Watch what happens, and he's saying about them. They are going the way of the dodo bird. Pour it on. Be encouraged. You're winning. Let's keep it going.
Hey guys, no half-ass gardening tips for you today. This is just a public message, I guess. I was an old school Democrat. I will never vote a fucking Democrat, ever. I was a Purple Party independent. You lost me. I'm all red now. When you celebrate and rejoice in the murder and assassination of someone who just was giving a different point of view than what you're used to in the fucking colleges these days, you are and will always be part of the problem. if you're rejoicing in that. He was a family man. He just came and was respectful to everybody and was assassinated for it. It's fucking pathetic. And so has what the Democratic Party has become.
See what I mean? Guys, let me know if I'm landing this plane in the chat over here. Because honestly, I think that I'm directly over target because you can see exactly what I'm saying through all these clips. They are toast. They are either going to partner and become incestuous with the far left, even more so, or they're going to go towards the middle. And I've got to literally, hold on a second, I got to turn this down. Someone just said, bro, YouTube hates you, which is funny because it's true. All right. So now let me keep on trucking. This is another perfect example right here. And this is probably the last one I'm going to do. Yeah, this is probably the last one I'm going to do because we're getting close to the 15-minute mark on this live stream. This is someone who actually said this on camera, on the street. This is part of the fringe. This is the reason why. This is Democrats. This is not the far left Antifa. This is the everyday, modern-day Democrat. Watch this, a random guy on the street. Check this out.
What about Charlie Kirk? I feel that Charlie Kirk was a racist, homophobic, misogynist, psychopath that the right bought into because he wanted to put himself up on front and challenge everybody and have these town halls at college campuses all over. And he knew what he was putting himself into. His wife knew that he was putting himself out like that. Charlie Cook committed suicide is what he did. He knew it was coming. Charlie Cook did a great thing for humanity. He stopped that bullet before it hit a human being.
You had that bullet connected with Trump. How would you have felt if it had connected with more than
I
just
wish
his
that
ear?
shooter would have been in Butner, Pennsylvania, instead of getting Charlie.
What about Charlie Kirk?
Democrats have a problem. And the problem is, I'm showing all of them 24/7 as much as YouTube will allow me without you guys getting annoyed by notifications if you have the bell on, you're subscribed, and you like the videos. But genuinely, this is your everyday Democrat right here, right now. Charlie Kirk committed suicide because he dared to speak. Oh. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, Charlie Kirk did a favor for the bullet, or for humanity, because the bullet hit him instead of catching an actual human. Nice. And then he wished that the shooter who killed Charlie Kirk was in Butler, Pennsylvania to kill Donald Trump. Yep. Guys, y'all got a problem on the Democrat Party side, and I'll be honest with you, we're just going to quit full throttle and just run right over you. I mean, honestly, it's exactly what's going to happen, because you've woken the sleeping dragon, and it's, oh baby, it's coming. Yeah, I'll do this one just because I like you guys. This is someone who on the left is saying that no one's going to care about the assassin of Charlie Kirk because he's not as attractive as the assassin of the CEO. This really happened. Let me get you in position here. Oh, man. What'd you guys do? I got to reload it. Dang. That was going to be really effectual and punctual. I was like, that was a real good punch setup.
Not as good looking as Mangione. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's not as good looking as Mangione, so it'll be less inspirational for people. Tell me I'm wrong, man.
I don't see any Hawaiian. I don't see.
If you didn't catch that, by the way, I'm gonna rerun it for you. This assassin who killed a right winger is going to be a right wing influencer. Yeah, he's not going to be as influential and impactful because he's not as attractive as Luigi Mangione is, the guy who killed the CEO in New York in a gun control state in a gun control city with a suppressor, which was fully illegal, and then he committed a hit. Yeah, this is the left. This is the Democrats. You are looking straight into the belly of the beast. There is not a big gulf between the far left crazies and the Democrats. They have become one biblically. All right, let's see what else we got on this one little tab over here, because I wasn't going to do it, but now I might as well, because we're already here. Oh, yeah, I already showed you this one. This is just the guy who is overtly just destroying the memorial for Charlie Kirk, while his buddies are writing the sign wrong to go into free Palestine. Just your run-of-the-mill leftist. No big deal, whatever. All right, here we go. Let's wrap this up, because this is the important piece. Guys, we are going to drive everything that we can. We are going to work as much as I can with TPUSA. I've got all the connections out. I'm going to work with anybody and everybody on our side to destroy this filth that is taking over our nation. And we're going to beat it back with a broomstick. Just crazy. like Tom and Jerry cartoons where she just went after Tom. Yeah, that's an older reference. Whatever, you guys get it. But the point is, we are all now awake. The mask has slipped. You see the monster, and it's time to defeat that monster. We're going to keep on showing these things. We're going to keep on piling on. We're going to keep on espousing the beliefs of freedom that Charlie Kirk went with. And we're going to relegate them to the dustbin of history. That's what we're going to freaking do together. Because we are so much bigger than they think we are. And honestly, we're bigger than some of us realize that we are. And with that, I'm going to see you guys on the next one. We've been busy. We got even more coming. We got some freedom to spread. I will see you the next time. I love each and every one of you. Just the right amount makes you feel comfortable. I'm Braden. See you later.